Our city centre is now nearly 2 kilometres across, which I think is a lot for city skylines, but that places it with great regional importance, and by extension, great national importance. With this, our city has become home to many institutions, like the Opera House here, and the National Bank. So, today, it's time to give our build what it takes to go from a city to a capital. So, in the last episode, we worked on this area, we worked on like the square and this street here. And yeah, so as you've seen in the intro, we've got this building. I'll just go through how I made it. It's static bloppables of these sunken down. Wow, that's really skewed. But yeah, it's a really nice. There's a really nice, I guess, windows, and then these windows with the arches also look a bit more ornate. So yeah, obviously it's going to be an institution. I actually think, yeah, let's say that it is Parliament. So here is the Parliament of our country. We don't have a name for the country. You guys could give names for the country. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and, I guess, integrate it into the rest of the city. Now, I think my biggest challenge will be kind of demarcating where the end, like the difference between the normal city blocks, i.e. these, and where the Parliament will be, because I don't really want, I mean, it just wouldn't make sense for it to be the Parliament and then one of these less fancy roads and then just a city block. So I need to kind of figure out where I'll make the difference. Even though this will end up being like permanent, I think we could probably almost trial it out over here though. So what I've done here is, I don't know, this is probably some sort of institute, some sort of think tank. So what I could try and do, I mean, I think it would actually be, I'm gonna rip off Prague, but we could probably use some of these old buildings to almost create like a, not an outhouse, maybe a summer house, or we could even try and create like a chapel. Although actually something that I've really kind of like the look of, but can never really manage to do, is when there's almost a broken block. So, well, I guess it's a bit self-explanatory. So I don't actually know what the story for this block could be, but the fact that there's only 2 buildings, it obviously looks like there was supposed to be more of a block. Yeah, I like that idea. Now we'll just have to kind of blend everything together. So I can really just draw a bunch of kind of surface paths, and that would let me come in later and add all of the probably flowers and stuff. This area will be notable for being probably one of the greenest bits within the center. Now I have to decide, I don't have any custom trees yet, I don't know. I haven't actually looked very much for how I could possibly get them. I think we already have a hedge, so the hedge kind of already does the purpose of blocking out, but for the windows, I think we will maybe have to. So I have added a little fountain, and I actually forgot to, yeah, let's put in the flower beds. No, I'll probably just use bushes. But yeah, we'll get this done, and then I guess the real challenge does await. So I've got an idea now. We've kind of laid it out. We've got basically all of these blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got these blocks that I definitely, yeah, I think these are definitely city blocks. Now what I'm wanting to do for these, I want these to be quite nice. So I'm gonna use... Actually, that would be really cool. It would be kind of special for it to be the same one on either side. So I'm gonna keep that there. And then I'm just gonna do some of these tall and quite affluent looking buildings. So now, as we come up to this final block and this street here, I've basically, what I want this street to be is to be like an ultra luxury street. So there'll be a ton of luxury shops. Now, they're like, these sorts of streets are all over Europe. There's Parížská in Prague, which is why I've called this one Pražská. Kinda ironic. There's like PC Hoofdstraat in Amsterdam, Bond Street in London, and there's probably like some others. The Via Monte Napoleone in Milan, I think. So these are like common things. So in this, because obviously we're trying to make it kind of faithful as a European city, what I want our street to be, I want it to, instead of like tenement buildings like these, I want it to be like every building, wow, electricity. I want it to be like every building used to be some like 700-year-old family's main palace in the city. Like this was the residence of some ultra-rich family. And so to do that, obviously these German buildings are very effective, but I can't really use too many, otherwise it kind of just all blends together. I could use this one looks a lot more Southeastern European. Although I'm not sure if it sells the fact that it's like one single house, so I might get rid of that one actually. So kind of building on that idea, I've created this, which it looks like some sort of department store, which, yeah, I've got some flagpoles. I wish there were vanilla flags, but they're all Finnish and they're all hollow from one angle. So I don't know how I can get that to work. I might download some flags, but then, obviously, well, actually, I mean, speaking of flags, we could do like an embassy district. Obviously, all credit goes to skills builds for doing that in his city. I don't know, I don't think we'll make a district because that isn't too realistic. But we could add a couple. We could add like fictional things as well. But yeah, with that's that block done. I think I'll go in afterwards and then I'll add the shops on the ground floor. But let me add some, I guess, nicer, fancier pavement. This sort of area I would... Now, as for our actual Parliament building, something that I want to do is I want there not to be a line of sight from here to the building, because this is... well, this is like shopping district, commercial, cheap shops and stuff, and this is the National Parliament, so I feel like a long time ago they would have wanted it so that kind of the common people would not be able to see it that easily. So I think that's why we will actually have some buildings in the way here. Yeah, so I've finished this block off. As for the parking, I guess I'm just gonna have to manually color in these cars black, because I do want that to be the effect of someone being parked outside, but yeah, I think I did a bit too much. Now I think all we really have to do is finish off this bit up to the road, which obviously this road is a like 70s road, completely car oriented infrastructure. So on that, actually they wouldn't have built like such a monstrosity within the view line of what is this rich street. So even though this road was completely straight, I've kind of put this bit to block the view, and I didn't think originally it kind of made sense, because obviously this might be one of the main arteries into the city. Like, you can imagine it going off. Although before that I do have a bit of a problem, and that's because I don't know. I do want trams along this road, because I think it looks a bit barren without the tram poles, but I do not have anywhere to put the trams afterwards. This road, you know what, I'm complaining completely, and like, it completely works fine. Yeah, so I've managed to bring the tram round. I'm gonna have to... And I think that's the first tram. Yeah. So the first tram... wow, we need to do the waterfronts as well. So it takes its time. So I kind of hooked it up to what is technically an off-ramp, but because it's a residential area and it was the 60s or 70s or whatever, they don't care. And I'm okay with that. We'll kind of just make this area in between not a wasteland, but a bit of a derelict area. We could add in just that. And I wonder if there's an industry building as well. No, doesn't look like it. Yeah, we can just keep that shack, and then... Oh, this might be... We can use these textures, can't we? And then along with the building we can add some of this texture, and I think... Yeah, that works, because obviously no one's ever watered this on purpose. We can add some odd trees as well. Like that. So the city's probably... The city would want to hide it, but it doesn't really care enough to do so. Although on the actual streets, the fancy street, definitely will. There you go. And then we can add... I think the building's overlooking it. Obviously it's the 21st century and they're in the center of a city, so they'll be like ultra valuable. But they might... I might make them a bit shorter as well. They just weren't ever in such demand. So yeah, in this other gap I've created this like fountain thing, as if it's almost when they still believed that going by car and destroying a city for cars was still glamorous. And yeah, but I think we're gonna make it a bit outdated looking, so I might put some like bigger bushes as if it's a bit overgrown, and then also what I've done with the tiles. And then we'll have to do the waterfront. There. Oh, and then we can do another desire path. Yes. Here it is. So I'm just using the gravel transitions, which are vanilla. Most of my stuff is vanilla. Most of my wear and tear stuff, especially. And there you go. Yeah, that looks cool. I mean, yeah, somehow even though it's like an objectively pretty unpleasant area, it looks cool. This block, on the other hand, I've got no idea how to work this. I'm always left with corners. I think although we could do like another nice big building, I think what we'll do is another broken block. And we won't even put anything in the middle. It'll be that you can literally look through to the other side. So how I'm gonna do that, I think we'll use this height, and then we might have to use a 1x2 there. And yeah, I mean that looks really jarring, the fact that Oh, that's perfect, yeah. And then we can even, I think we can flatten this, yeah. We can give it a bit of concrete and then it's literally like some tire yard or something, scrap yard. Wonder if I have boxes. And then we can add a bit of just garbage, some crates. Okay, that might be a bit too much. Then we could add some red ore. This is massive, what? No way. How can... What? That's insane. That's like... So yeah, I've finished the waterfront. There's actually... Somehow, for some reason, there's actually people using it. It turned autumn, and I've also had to change that back. It always resets for me, so I just have to wait for these trees to go green. But yeah, let's do some closing shots.